Hi, friends. Welcome back to Live at the Roxy on this Monday, April 12th. It's going to be a roller coaster of a show today because you guys know we talk about all things from politics to entertainment news to what's going on in my personal life to things that are politicized that should not be politicized. And that's where we're at today. There's some entertainment news that we will get to. And, it's sometimes can just be too much to only talk about the things that make you want to throw yourself off a fucking building for too long. But we can't avoid talking about them, and we don't want to here on this show. So there's a couple of different situations that took place. Situations is the wrong word, but a couple things to talk about. Daunte Wright, who was shot and killed by police officers. We're going to talk about that entire story as the footage was released today. There was another police officer incident where a police officer pepper sprayed an Army lieutenant at gunpoint. That footage was also seen in attempt to help people who might be struggling with PTSD over some of these images or might be triggered by some of these images. I won't be showing any of the images on the show or any of the footage, but if you would like to see any of it, if you are trying to educate yourself, then it is all over the internet. So you guys are able to access both of those pieces of footage. And then we're going to try to bounce back and lighten our moods a little bit as much as we can, because there are some bizarro stories. Usher gave dancers fake money with his face on it. And after dancing for him for hours, that is what they got. That I do have an image of that I will be showing. There's a Shameless finale last night, which was really, really great. I also started watching the show that I don't know if any of you guys ever watched, which none of you guys tipped me off to, but I cannot stop watching it. I'm on episode 4, which is the final episode. It was a Showtime docuseries called Love Fraud. Holy shit, this show is ridiculous, and I'm going to talk about that. And then Lucy Liu was cast in Shazam, so at least we've got a little bit of fuck yeah news towards the end of the show. So we will be talking about all of that and more here today, live at the Roxy, and we're going to get through it all together. I know that it's tough when these are the topics that we're talking about, but yeah, but that is what the world has given us today. So that is what we'll be speaking about. Plus anything that you guys have to say, questions, comments, concerns, streamlabs.com/RoxyStryer. Thank you to my mod, Matthew Gold, for putting that in here. Appreciate you, honey. And to all of you guys for being here. Thank you for joining me here today live on the show. Hopefully the YouTube notification worked today. I believe a lot of you guys said it actually went out, because I know many of you guys have not been getting it. If you're not getting the YouTube notification, remember that I tweet out every day when I go live, and I also put it on my Patreon, and that should give you guys notifications there. So those are the ways that you'll know when I'm live. Yeah. Mark Jason Ali, thank you for noticing. Yes, and thank you for sending me this amazing white hoodie. I'm so obsessed with it. This is our World Girls merch. Mark Jason Ali bought this for me like a saint. And it is so fucking comfortable. I love it in white. I'm obsessed with this sweatshirt. I don't want to take it off. It is not me trying to plug our merch, although heyo, but holy shit, this sweatshirt is the shit. And it looks so cool. Like, this just looks like a really cool brand. And then on the back for it to have this and then TWG, fucking dope. Loving this hoodie. Thanks to Mark Jason Ali. And to all of you guys who are getting our merch now. Let's start in Streamlabs. Yeah, we're gonna have to lean on each other a lot for this one. Let's start in the Streamlabs and make our way through today's show. Streamlabs.com/RoxyStryer. Like I said, it is the 12th of April, which means that our first official Streamlabs of the day came through from, actually it was yesterday, and Stone Fanboy put it in. Oh no, Stone Fanboy, I already read that. It was today, Morse Code Z. 11:48 this morning said, "Hey RJ, hope you're recovering well from your weekend. Just sending you some love since I couldn't Sunday. Thanks, Morse Code. Appreciate you. Glenn Caesar says Miles Cosgrove, Brett Hankison, Jonathan Mattingly arrest the cops who killed Breonna Taylor. All three of them for killing Breonna Taylor. Hope today is the day. Justice for all the people who've lost their lives due to excessive force. Say their names. I don't think it's ever been more prevalent than it is today, as everything that's happening with Derek Chauvin's case and with the things that we're going to be talking about on the show today. We're going to just keep saying it. And thank you, Glenn, for always sending that in. Glenn also says hello and good afternoon, Roxy, and all your nicknames. Thanks for always being there and here for us, RJ, and everyone who shows up to give their support whenever, however they can, even when it gets tough. Even if you're by yourself, you're not alone. Everyone who's battling, keep on fighting. You're a winner. You're kind, you're smart, you're unique. Being so unselfishly loving and supportive of others, including strangers on the internet or not, makes you worthy. Your story is important and deserves to be seen and heard. Congrats, Roxy, on all that's in the works and now unfolding in the new chapter and new adventures of Roxy. Roxy RJ Chunk is fucking fire. Roxy's best, Roxy number one. Roxy's the best, Roxy's number one. Oh my God, another one. Roxy's the best, Roxy's number one. Yeah. Happy Roxy days. Thank you, Roxy, RJ, Skittles, Rockstars, for being so truly supportive of newcomers and OGs alike. As a family, you all fucking rule. As always, I hope that we can all find and feel our own joy in each of our days, our weeks, our months, and our years ahead. Let's go Smets and everyone fighting for today, tomorrow, and more. Smash cancer all day, every day. Be most excellent. RJ and Rockstar, show up for people who need it. It makes you dope AF, humane, and worthy. Cheers to Fuck Yeah News and laughter for us all. We're going to try to get to that point today, Glenn, but we will see how we wade through this. Because it's not fucking easy when that's what's going on in the world and continues to be what's going on in the world. And we're just talking about what seems like the same thing every single fucking week. Just really, really, really fucking frustrating. So let's talk about it. I guess we'll start with Daunte Wright. I say it like that only because of how much pain I was feeling when I was watching this morning and last night as we're watching it all unfold. I don't say it like that because he's not deserving of us talking about it at first, because of course he is, as he lost his life. And when I say lost his life, I mean was murdered. I think that probably most of you guys know what's happening as of this point, especially if you follow the news or if you were looking on Twitter. But the body cam footage was released about an hour ago. And I watched it and it was really, really fucking hard to watch. And so if you are easily triggered, then this is something that you certainly are not going to want to check out, but it is definitely out there and available for anybody. As I said, I don't want to trigger anybody here, so I will not be playing this footage, but you can find it on CNN, on YouTube. I mean, every major news publication. And it was the Brooklyn Center Police who released the body cam footage that showed the moment that Daunte Wright was shot by the police officer during a traffic stop in Minnesota. The police chief, Tim Gannon, says he believes that the officer accidentally drew her handgun instead of a taser in the encounter with Wright. I was watching the press conference in which the chief of police was speaking, and what he said was the way that the officers are trained, and this is me just giving you guys the facts, obviously not me saying how I feel yet. He says that the way that the police officers are trained is that they keep their gun on one side, and it's either the dominant or not dominant, and their taser on the other side. And that when the female police officer pulled the gun out, she kept yelling taser, taser, which is common practice among police officers. If you were going to tase somebody, to let your other police officers know that that's what's coming. So she multiple times says taser, taser. And then she fires, and it is her gun, and she shoots him. She shoots Daunte Wright. Daunte closes the door to the car and drives away and makes it a couple blocks before he hits another car because he had been shot, and then was dead on the scene. And his body was on the ground from 1 o'clock for hours and hours as his mom was trying to contact the authorities to get his body out of public eye, because that's not what she wanted. From his message to her on the phone, what he had said to her was that he had been pulled over for having air fresheners in his hanging from his back seat. What the officers are saying is that there was a warrant out for him. The story is still kind of unfolding, and I can be updating you guys, but what the chief of police was saying was that he believes that this female officer meant to tase him and instead shot and killed him. Meanwhile, this all taking place as Derek Chauvin's trial is 20 minutes away. I think that there's a couple things that would be hard for us to, the hardest part to grasp is that this man's life has been taken. A very young man, I believe he was in his 20s. Also, the fact that a police officer could confuse a gun for a taser is really a disturbing and upsetting thought. Who knows if that's true? I have no idea. That's what the chief of police said. But if it is not true, then she shot and killed an innocent, unarmed man on purpose. And if it is true, there is a police officer who does not know the difference between a gun and a taser. I can't I don't even know how to wrap my brain around that. I don't know how that could be the case. I don't know how that could be the case. This man was not doing anything. He was driving and was pulled over and was attempting to cooperate, and it escalated so quickly. And the footage shows that the police escalated the situation and then shot and killed him. And what you can see in the footage is that the male police officer who was looking at the female police officer who did it, who we're not seeing her because the body cam was clearly hers, or at least on the side of her. He looks like, what the fuck did you just do? So there was clearly absolutely zero reason to shoot this man. He was not doing anything dangerous to anybody. He did not have a weapon that he was attempting to use. There was nothing. There was also a woman in the car. She was injured, but is expected to survive. She is in the hospital now. That's the information we have about Daunte Wright and the shooting as of now. And that the police, like I said, are calling this accidental based on the fact that she was attempting to tase him. I don't know how somebody could say that, especially with not having all the information. For the police chief to come out and say that so quickly feels very irresponsible to me. Obviously, there are protests going on. Tear gas had been fired and a curfew was imposed as the protests were, as some articles are calling them. This one from BBC says, tear gas has been fired and a curfew imposed amid angry protests. Angry protests. What does that mean? Somebody was just murdered for driving a car. And the protests are angry? What the fuck? I think if you're not angry, you're a psychopath. If this story does not make you angry, you are a sociopath. Because the definition being that you lack empathy. And if this doesn't anger you, then why are you on this planet? Angry protests after police fatally shot a black man in a traffic stop in the U.S. city of Brooklyn Center, just north of Minneapolis. He was 20 years old exactly. And yeah, 10 miles away is Derek Chauvin's courtroom. I was seeing reporters saying they were there for Derek Chauvin's case, and that then they end up reporting on this because it's like right next door. Disgusting. Latest on the scene, hundreds of protesters chanting Daunte Wright's name gathered late on Sunday outside the police headquarters, which we talked about. Tension rose as police donned riot gear and 2 police vehicles were pelted with stones and jumped on. Protesters wrote with chalk on pavement and lit candles, but police later ordered the protesters to disperse, with footage showing tear gas and stun grenades being fired by officers because the protesters were angry. About 20 businesses in a nearby shopping center were later broken into. That's coming from the Star Tribune. Brooklyn Center Mayor Mike Elliott announced on Twitter he was issuing a curfew until 6. In an early morning video post on the death of Daunte Wright, Mayor Elliott said, "Our hearts are with his family. We're going to make sure that everything is done in our power to ensure justice." What I think is also so challenging for us is that there's no such thing as justice here. When you cannot undo something, there's no justice. There's no justice. What would somebody consider justice for Daunte Wright? Because I'm pretty sure at 20 years old, he got his life taken, and there's no such thing as justice for that. What is justice for that? Even if this police officer is arrested, even if they spend the rest of their life in prison, it's not justice. So to say we're going to seek justice, I think it's just, justice is when people have to fight for something, or when people are fighting for something and they're given that thing that they deserve and always deserved and get justice. When somebody's dead, you can do more of a right thing than a wrong thing at that point. You can charge this police officer with his murder. Even that won't be justice. It will just be the right thing to do after the wrong thing happened. It's frustrating to hear that. Yeah, frustrating to hear that. And I'm really sorry for watching footage of his mother crying and talking about everything that was going on. And I believe that those images that we were seeing, was that his child that he was with? I'm not sure, but he was with a really young kid in some of the pictures of him. Fucking horrible. So I'm sure a lot of you guys are struggling today with this, as I'm really proud and lucky to have created such an incredible group of rock stars here that are so diverse. And I'm sure that some people this hits home way more than it does for me. And all I can do is sit here and sympathize and empathize as best as I can, and continue to do what we can to raise awareness and to fight the fight that needs to be fought, because we don't have another fucking choice. Because very, very abundantly clearly, this is what people just don't like to say out loud. This does not happen if he's not Black. If he's not Black, this isn't what would have happened. And we know that. And if you don't believe that, then that is your own injustices seeping through, because you're not acknowledging the truth of the situation, which is that Daunte was a Black man, and what the police officer saw first was Black. And so that is why we're going to continue to talk about that here on this show. Speaking of Black men who were completely wronged, another thing I wanted to talk about was the police officer who pepper sprayed an Army lieutenant who apparently is also an Army medic, who was in his Army uniform. I think it's like their off-duty Army uniform, but still. And this man was held at gunpoint in his car and then pepper sprayed. We're going to talk about that in a second. First, I'm going to hear from you guys. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider, super chat in. Let me know how you guys are feeling, what you guys think, if I'm missing anything. Questions, comments, concerns. I know this is a heavy one today, and I swear we will get to some lighter stuff. Usher is around the corner for us. That's something that we know to be true, so we will get to Usher and the weird-ass decision that he made. Rob Fishbeck in here in the Streamlabs says, after seeing that video, I just feel anger, sadness, and numbness. I don't know when the police will learn, but this is just sickening. Much love to everyone here. It's not just a police issue. It's a societal issue. Because the police are the only ones who have the power to do what they've done, but they're not the only ones who would do what they've done. And that we see. Cinema Guerrilla says, police protect white supremacists and Nazis. They protect property and owners, not black, brown, queer people, nor allies. Half of police killings are mentally ill children who can rarely comply. More prisons are built than schools. Defund, abolish, and educate. Cinema Guerrilla, where are you getting the statistic that half of police killings are mentally ill children? I don't think that's an accurate statistic. If it is, then please show us your evidence when you say half of police killings. And I only say that to say that we have to be really careful as a group of people fighting for what's right, that we give them nothing. There can't be holes in our logic. And so when we use hyperbolic language or speech that is as extreme as that, when we say things like half of the killings are this, and that's not accurate, then they jump on that and call us exaggerators and liars, which is why when we come with facts, they need to be fucking airtight. And I'm only saying that has nothing to, I'm not talking about here, Cinema Guerrilla. I'm just saying in general as a debate tool, which we all are having these debates right now, whether it's with family members who don't agree with you or friends who you've found that are really not your friends or on the wrong side of history here. It's really important to be able to speak in facts and stats. And because one of the things that liberal people or left-wing people get accused of is talking with their emotions all the time. And we do that because we feel. And, you know, the worst part about these stories today is that it is gut-wrenching. And that's the biggest takeaway, is how fucking gut-wrenching. But some people don't feel the way we feel. And they don't feel gut-wrenched. And so you need to come with facts and make sure that you double, quadruple check what it is you're saying. Mark Jason Ali in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider says, hi, Roxy. Glad the hoodie came in. Looks ace. My black one is lovely too. So warm and cozy. Yeah, I have it in black too. I love it in both colors. Don't guns and tasers have different size, weights, and looks? Is this another case of dumbass racist cop that needs better training and shouldn't see black first? #smash cancer. From my understanding, to the best of my knowledge, Mark, yes, guns and tasers have different sizes, weights, and looks. They're also supposed to be held in different sides of you. And it's in her hand for a couple of seconds before it is fired. She doesn't pull it out and fire it. She pulls it out, says taser, taser, and then it seems to go. And then she seems to fire it. So if that's what they're going to go with, I would be shocked. But we'll see. Well, not shocked. That's wrong. If that's what they're going to go with, they're going to really have to how are they going to explain themselves? There's no explanation. That's why they can't explain themselves. And that's just the truth. So, Cinema Guerrilla says, of the nearly 700 people shot and killed by police in 2020, more than 100 had a mental illness. Okay, so Cinema Guerrilla, that's great. That's great knowledge to have and important to know. but definitely different than half of police killings are mentally ill children. Those are two very different things to say. But thank you for letting us know that. And I appreciate all of you guys for being in here with me talking about these topics that are simply too hard to go through alone and talk about alone. All right. So moving forward, I just said that I wanted to talk about the Army medic who was pepper sprayed. This footage was really fucking hard to watch because it is so infuriating and frustrating. As you can tell, what's going on here is this man is fucking afraid to get out of his car. So he's not complying because he doesn't know what he did wrong. He asks multiple times what he did wrong. He is scared to get out of his car because of everything that we've seen in the news nonstop and everything he's probably had to live with as a black man. And so he doesn't want to reach for his seatbelt because he doesn't want them to think that he's reaching for a gun, as they're saying, keep your hands out the window. Get out of the car. Keep your hands out the window. Get out of the car. Which one of those are you supposed to fucking do? He is afraid to open the door. He's afraid to reach down. He's afraid to get out of the car because at least that provides him a little bit of protection. He does not know what to do, and they are not telling him why he has to get out of the car. They just keep saying that there's two police officers, get out of the car, get out of the car, get out of the car. They're yelling at him. They're not listening to him. He is an active military man. They are aware of this. One of the police officers says, I'm too of that. Some way to treat somebody else, then holy shit, what the hell is that? And this is how they're treating somebody who is fighting for our country. Imagine how they treat somebody who's not. So they try to get him out of the car. When he says, he says to them, I'm scared. I'm scared to reach for my seatbelt. Can one of you guys get my seatbelt? They end up pepper spraying him. And I mean, holy shit. Watching him, and he's just saying, this is wrong. This is not right. And then after they pepper spray him, they're screaming at him to get out of the car. He can't see. He cannot breathe. He cannot reach for his belt. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? And he's clearly recording all of this, and it's being recorded so wrong. Every police officer should 100% have to wear a body camera, by the way, because the only reason now this police officer has lost his job, and the only reason he's lost his job is because there was footage of this and it went viral. No way this man would have lost his job had this been an account from this lieutenant. If he had said, this is what happened, nobody would have fucking believed him. Nobody would have fucking listened. There's no way that this man would have been fired. And it's only because of this footage, which is why footage is so fucking important. Why so many crimes are not believed. Which is horrific. So I'm glad that this officer was fired. He clearly is not deserve to be an officer of law. And now a lawsuit has been filed as well, which is the man's name. The police officer's name is Joe Gutierrez. Joe Gutierrez, a police officer accused of using excessive force, which it was more than excessive. Well, I just guess that's called excessive. I guess more than excessive is still excessive. Horrible to watch. You just sit there feeling like, what fucking choice does this man have? He has no choice. No choice. Yeah, Evan Hooker, that's true. He said, I'm afraid to get out of the car, and the cop says, you should be. If that's not a threat, I don't know what is. I mean, the truth is this man might have saved his own life by refusing to get out of the car. And the officer keeps saying, you need to comply. You know, if you're a military man, you should know about complying or whatever it is. What the fuck's he supposed to do? He might have saved his own life, honestly. Bruce Banner says, what's crazy is they did all that knowing their body cam was on. I know. So that means that they believed that they were in the right and that the police would have their back and that this would never be a problem because they know they're on camera. They know they're on fucking camera. Disgusting. In the Streamlabs, Cinema Guerrilla says, it's hard to specify when Streamlabs is limited and slow, but yes, of course, I always talk with receipts. Well, you didn't with before. You said one half are mentally ill children. So, Maria, I'm warning you about speech like that. And welcome everyone to Research Too. And then he put a link in here to NBC News. Because you had said one half are children too. So but thank you for putting that in there, and it's just a cautionary tale, just letting you guys know that to everybody, it's not just to you. We can all learn from each other. We're all on the same team. I just am saying that when we need to come with facts, because otherwise we get eaten alive. Any more thoughts on either of these situations? I wanted to make sure we talked about them here on the show today. And after that, I swear to you guys, I would lighten the mood as much as I could. So please let me know if you have anything else. Streamlabs.com/RoxyStryer. I know that this is too much to do by yourself. So even if you guys are just talking in the chat or whatever, hopefully this is helpful so that you guys are not dealing with and sorting through all of these emotions and feelings and frustrations by yourself. But let's distract ourselves for a little bit, because we definitely need it. And something that's for sure distracted me was this Usher story. I was really surprised by this Usher story. I have to tell you guys, just as a musician, I could not be a bigger Usher fan. I'm obsessed with his music. To me, there's something so sexy about his vibe and just his music. I've been a huge fan forever. I've always loved Usher. I feel like I know all of the words to every song, and just his music to me is like top notch. That being said, this story is certainly not top notch. So this was an image that was posted by a dancer who said that she danced for Usher. This is the picture. So this is what is happening here. These are a bunch of pictures of Usher's face on $100 bills. And she writes on it, there's on Instagram, how you can do a question and answer section. So she does a question that says, what would you ladies do if you danced all night for Usher and he threw this? Again, hundreds and 20s and all different cash with his face on it. So fake cash. And then she writes on it, seen this level of fuckery, exactly why we stay away from celebs most of the time. They suck, cheap as fuck. So disrespectful. This is foul. Working so hard to get nothing in return. This is a joke. Their job is to entertain. Take your cheap ass back home. So I think that's somebody else who writes that after screen grabbing this part. But that is the story, that Usher comes into theoretically some kind of a strip club or whatever the technical term is for the dancers. And he was and all night they're dancing for him, and this is the kind of money that he gives them. What the fuck, Usher? I mean, what is that? That's so rude, so cheap, so disrespectful. Dancers are badass, and they're working their asses off, and you have so much money, Usher. If you feel like you can't afford it, then don't go in there. And if you can't afford it, but this is what you do as like a joke, remember that these people have families to feed. They have themselves to feed. What the fuck? What the fuck, Usher? What the fuck? I knew this would be a nice distraction for us all, though, because, this is the kind of story that we get mad at, but like it's a different part of being mad. It's like, what the fuck? There's some lame ass people out there. Usher, don't make me lose my respect for you completely. That is not cool. It's not, we're not down with that, Usher. Throw those real $100 bills. You've got it. I've certainly listened to your music enough times. And so have all my friends and everybody in here. You've got those dollar bills. Come on. All right, that's what I got to say about Usher. Let me know what you guys think about this Usher dollar bill thing with his face on the money. And like, how did he get that printed? Streamlabs.com/RoxyStryer, and also in the super chat. As I have mentioned to you guys, it has been like the lightest last 2 months ever. Certainly in the process of looking for a new job. But in the meantime, I'm going to be here all the time and really appreciate any and all support you guys can give Let me know your thoughts on every topic by putting them into the Streamlabs and the super chat. I don't even think we've gotten a super chat yet today. People are in a weird place, and I get it. Lucy Liu is officially going to be a god. We already know she's a goddess, but now she's going to be a god. Lucy Liu joined Shazam, which is the sequel to Shazam, God and Fury of the Gods, Gods and Thunder. I think it's Fury of the Gods. We already know that Helen Mirren's going to be there, but apparently she's playing Helen Mirren's sister, Calypso, who is the sister of Hespera, which is Helen Mirren's character. And I love Lucy Liu. I'm a huge Lucy Liu fan. I have to say, Drew Barrymore, Cameron Diaz, and Lucy Liu are my forever queens. There could not have been better casting in as the three of them as Charlie's Angels ever. Like that was my growing up. It was like the three of them were the shit. They were these badass, beautiful babes who kicked booty. And since then, I just am a Lucy Liu gal. Always will be. And Lucy Liu is joining Shazam, and I'm a DC fanatic, and I love Shazam, and I already loved that Helen Mirren was joining, and now having Lucy Liu join, what's better than this? Lucy Liu and Helen Mirren, have they ever done a movie together? I feel like the answer is no. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. But that's, fucking goals. We're talking about goals here. They're both so talented. And I cannot wait to watch. I know a lot of you guys are now rooting for the villains. Hey, I get it. But siblings turn against each other sometimes too. We don't know what that will end up looking like. Because it's a villainous family, but you never know who turns on who or what happens here. So just be on the lookout. Shazam is shaping up quite nice, and I am stoked on that. Another, I guess, one of our last couple stories, and then we will get to, one of our last stories before we leave for the day. Shout out to Jeff Aaron in the super chat with that purple heart. Appreciate you, friend. Is that I watched the Shameless finale. Send bunnies if you watched the Shameless finale. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but would appreciate bunnies if you watch, so I know who watched the Shameless finale. I know a lot of people said they were underwhelmed. I thought it was fucking awesome. I loved the Shameless finale. I think that it was really, really true to the characters. I know people were upset about the lack of Emmy Rossum in this whole season, but I thought that the show was still phenomenal. And I love this show. I love William H. Macy. I love watching these characters. I think Ian and Mickey are one of my top 10 favorite TV couples of all time. They're so sexy. They're so in love. There's just it's a realistic depiction of like a fucked up relationship, but just you root for them anyway. Lip is forever goals. I'm obsessed with Shinola. Just all around with V and Kev is so good. Debbie's character is truly the most annoying character ever, and I love that about her. Even the little the young child, Liam, he's so good. This show is excellent. And anybody who fell off, I was so happy to be here. Only Murderana watches. No, Loudy Ferdinand watched also. So barely any of you guys. Wow. Shameless was good, y'all. Y'all missed out on a good one. I'm telling you. That was the jam. In the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider, Glenn Caesar says, LOL, I had to make you say Roxy's best, Roxy number one, 3 now, 4 times, Roxy, because I believe in you and want you to believe in the self-talk, even though I'm the one who's making you say it out loud, and always have it in your head too. Love you. Oh, Glenn, you make me bashful. You do. It's just the truth. All right. I can always binge it, Roxy. So do it, Big Mo. Do it. Put your binging where your mouth is. Speaking of things I'm binging, this will be the last thing, unless you guys have any more Streamlabs. The last part of today's show is that I finally started watching this show called Love Fraud. Now, I have 50 minutes left in the final episode. So I can't even believe I'm here instead of watching that, because holy shit, it is so wild. In case you guys missed out on what this show is, which I completely missed out on, but you guys know I do that radio show Monday mornings in St. Louis, and the host of the show, Carney, sent me an email this week like, did you see this thing back in the day? I guess this came out a year ago. During quarantine, came out in 2020. There's 4 episodes. It's on Showtime. And the description on Showtime is the search for Richard Scott Smith, who used the internet to prey upon unsuspecting women in search of love, conning them out of their money and dignity. And that's exactly what this is. It's a con man story about a guy who, and it's a docuseries about this guy who goes around marrying women, taking their money and running, and the women catching on to it and trying to hunt him down. That is what this is a docuseries based on. And it is so fucking wild. This show is so fucking wild. And I definitely am going to be talking about it after I finish it. I hear it's got a great finale. So if you guys want to catch up on it, again, it's on Showtime. And I binged through the 4 episodes, or almost like that. I talked about it this morning on GPA with Josh McCouga. I brought it up to him. He had already seen it. I can't believe he didn't recommend it to me. By the way, being on GPA with Josh was so much fun this morning. If you didn't check out Positivity Report, please go ahead and do it. Because, wow, yeah, he's great. This show is phenomenal. So if you're looking for a docuseries, I think that they build it as like The Jinx, but better. So I don't know if it's better than The Jinx. The Jinx is one of the greatest docuseries of all time. If you never watched that on HBO, stop what you're doing to watch. That is like a murder mystery effing show. It's so psychotic, that show. Crazy, truly crazy. But this one was wild too. And I'll let you guys know how it goes at the end. All right. If that is all we got today, then I appreciate y'all showing up for me in the last minute. Get in any final streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Super chats, any of that. ZB, the good thing about forgetting to watch GPA this morning is that it's still there. That's how the YouTubes work. You just go over to Good People Association on YouTube and you can check it out. It was really nice to see Josh this morning. I missed doing shows with him. We worked together for so long and it was great. Glenn says Roxy is based on a somewhat similar premise to The Vow with Keith Raniere. I don't know how you spell his last name either. No, it's different. It's not a cult. He's not marrying them all together. He's a con artist, hopping from place to place. Check it out. You'll see. Glenn, it is fucked up. It is super fucked up. I'm also almost done with Community. I've got a couple episodes left of that, and I really liked it. It wasn't my favorite show of all time, but I did definitely really like it. I can give you guys more TV recs as I work my way through. I know that Handmaid's Tale is coming up at the end of this month, which I'm really excited to get back onto. I told you guys how much I'm loving the season of Walking Dead. This Is Us this season has been phenomenal. I still love Grey's, especially for a COVID-centric season. If you're looking to dissect some of the stuff that's going on, I always love Grey's Anatomy, but this season's been really good. And yeah, I'll give you guys other recs as they roll across my desk, some might say. All right, I'm going to get out of here then, folks. Much love to you guys. I will certainly be back tomorrow. I'm also going to be on SEN in the morning. I got to think about what I want to make the people do. Y'all know I always try to make my co-host squirm. So that's going to be SEN tomorrow morning. Then tomorrow afternoon, I'll be here live at the Roxy. Then Wednesday, I will be here. And then I will be on the World Girls. And Thursday, I will be here. Then Friday, I'll be on Only Stupid Answers. Plus this show. And all of that. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Don't forget to blow on your internet. Just got to make sure that that internet works. The best way to do it. Make your bed. Put down the toilet seat and lid for those flumes. We don't want them to go wild on us. Don't trend with the Holocaust. Brett, Miles, Jonathan, arrest the cops who killed Breonna Taylor. We seek justice, but you know, at the very least, let's do the right thing after the wrong thing has been done. And stay safe, stay sane. I love you guys lots. And I will see you tomorrow in all of the places.